going to have some discussion. So, as I mentioned, this is the last lecture. And the first project is due today, so you can send that through LMS according to the system. And be prepared to present that. We have 13, 14 students. So you should expect to be about 5 to 7 minute presentation, talking about what you found interesting, how you found it, what short summary, what you learned, why you chose the seminar, whatever you want to make it interesting and related to kind of thinking, curiosity, and innovation. The next project is due on that day, next week, and to be presented on the second day, and to take a walk around your home or the campus or wherever you are. Keep an eye out for something interesting, strange, mysterious. Write a short paragraph or two about that. And then passion is to make an innovative suggestion about improving the online educational experience at Soulbridge, how things can be better. That's the final one. You should really try to make a really good webinar, really good idea, really concise, because I'm going to record that and I'm going to share that with the university leadership. And so they can get some feedback, and I think they will be very happy to see your thought about how to improve things, because innovation is very much about how to improve things. And you should give some idea, a simple plan or pathway to making it real. And in your webinars, you should maybe have some, I will make it possible for you to share the screen. So you should have a short PowerPoint if you want, some diagrams, maybe pictures, and so forth.
For the other presentations before, we don't need that?
The other presentations before, you may not, but for example, this observation, right, number 2, if it's a visual thing that you observed, you may want to take a picture of that, paste the picture in a PowerPoint. You don't have to make anything fancy, but if it's a visual, it's usually better if you can show that, of course. Right? So that's your judgment. That's up to your innovation, how you can innovate to express, these ideas and to communicate your concepts. I think for the third one, some sort of PowerPoint will probably be very useful. And let's begin. So we've gone through a lot. We'll do a last lecture, but I want to have a little bit of a discussion period over the next few minutes. Then we'll take a break. Each of you. And the discussion question for today is, what do you consider to be the most innovative thing you have done? So think about it for a few minutes, and then I'll call on somebody to start the discussion. What do you consider to be the most innovative thing you have done? And let's start. Okay, Gunawan Nini Revellini.
Well, actually, I don't think I have made an innovation before. Oh well, I cannot think of any example right now.
Okay, well that's fine. I mean, anything? Did you make a decision that you thought was very brave or different? Did you, For example, deciding to attend Soulbridge, was that a kind of innovative decision? Because that's not uh, the usual. That's what I mean. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I sold a device, I I I I made another Facebook like Mark Zuckerberg. You know, innovation can be small.
If so my major in my university is event management. So in event, you have to be creative, right? So
Yeah.
usually, in the end of a semester, we are going to make some events based on groups, and the latest event my group made was like a museum, but we connect it with we connect the philosophy of the museum to women heroines in Indonesia history.
Oh, very interesting. So that's innovative. Very
Yeah,
good.
I think that is one of the example I can think of.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Next up is Marius Eckert. Thank you.
Okay, so it is nothing that I did, but I can remember of it. It was like I was around 11 years old, and I've seen a lot of things in the TV that, yeah, that many trees are being cut for books, and the whole discussion was um, about the climate, that it's getting worse if we cut the trees because they are there for well-being of the climate. So I was just sitting there and I remember that I draw something and I was thinking about, why do we have a TV where we can watch things so that there is a display? And then I was just drawing something. Why don't we have like a small display where the text is displayed so we could read books on a small display so we could save many trees? It was just, you know, a little drawing.
Yeah.
But, and of course, as you can see, I'm sitting here and I'm not rich by now.
Yes.
So I didn't make it an innovation, but it was something I was thinking about. And I was just drawing a little bit, and yeah, that was it.
Well, that's a great example because, as Maria said, he's not sitting there, the richest man in the world. And Jeff Bezos, who is the richest man in the world, actually took that idea and made the Kindle device, as you know. And I think what Maria said is very important because some of you may say, oh, he didn't actually, you know, make it. And so he's not the richest man in the world, but he had an idea independently that could have been like that. So why is that important? Because I believe Marius in the future will be thinking about this course and saying, gosh, it was not enough just to have the idea, right? So if you have another very good idea, two things are happening. You have some confidence that you had a good idea because, you know, as I mentioned, Jeff Bezos and Amazon made it into a great idea. But then you also have the knowledge that it's not really innovation until it became real. And
Yeah,
so
right.
this is very important in innovation because it's not always being successful, right? If you have the experience and learn from that, then the next idea, the next innovation can become really successful. So I hope that is something to learn from that. Thank you, Marius. Next one is Putri. Putri, what is the most innovative thing you feel you've done?
Actually, I've been feeling the same about the others. Like I've been doing nothing innovative before, but since I went to the same major as Gunawan
Yes.
in my home university as an event management student. Maybe I've been decided to make this decision, a brave decisions, which being the project manager for the very first event in the first semester.
Great.
That it's a bit a brave decision for me for being the first project manager, and
Very good.
maybe the other events such as bringing a traditional drink from Indonesia and bring it up to get the awareness around Indonesia.
Yeah. So
Maybe
traditional
that's the Mhm.
drinking.
It's called jamu.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So that's great. So what Putri is also mentioning is the importance of uh, courage. Innovation is a mindset. So maybe you came to this course thinking you're going to learn a bunch of techniques and tricks and so forth, but I'm trying to share mostly a mindset and a way of thinking, emotional state almost. So I'm glad you mentioned those words about courage and brave decision, because that is really an essence of innovation. So before this course, you might have said, well, maybe I don't go to a webinar in the outside area, but it's a mindset to just push yourself to do that. You might say, well, maybe I'm not going to tell the dean of Soulbridge and the president of the Soulbridge my ideas for improvement, right? You have to kind of be brave to do that, but we're going to have a framework to do that. And I hope you'll be thinking about it and have some confidence and to present that, and I will help you with that. Thank you very much. So let's now go to Bakshiva Kazai. Thank you for the like on the Facebook.
You're writing really interesting things that I in my home university, we have innovation center where students work on innovational ideas, and with my team, we created such kind of bags. It is traditional, like it's working without electricity or gas, anything, but it it's like thermo bags, but
Oh, wow.
in traditional way. In my country, a lot of people go when they go to the to as a guest to someone house. They have to take like things meals that is made by flour, and it will like help you to cook it as well and to hold it as well.
Very good.
So
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you very much, Bakshiva Kazai. Great. And it's very interesting. I think that's a great example because a lot of people think innovation is, fancy new thing, new technology. So she described a traditional object, right? And reconfiguring it for a futuristic application. And that's very important. Sometimes, as I mentioned, people just think, oh, I have to do something completely new. But innovation can be taking old things into new ways. So thank you for that. Let's go to Yata Yokudu.
Um, I actually, it's not something much. When I
Can you
finish
talk?
my,
Your microphone is always very low. Try to talk straight in your microphone.
Professor, I'm very close to my laptop. I don't know
Okay.
what's happening. Yeah. I was saying like after I finished my high school,
Yes.
I didn't get an opportunity to continue with my university, so I decided to like look for something to do, like casual job. But
Yes.
later on, I figured out that there were some women who really needed at least something to do. Like so, I decided to like write a letter to one company if we could be helped and And if those women could be helped, and like if the company could like buy some equipment like
Yes,
showing machines and these other things for these women so that they can start a livelihood. So we did that, and I trained some of the women on how to do them, and they did it right, and they're doing it even up to now. So I consider it something innovative,
that is
though not
great.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a very good example. Thank you, Yata. That also reminds me of when I was in high school. Um, I was very much involved in computer science. And I wanted to do a computer science research project. And this is in 1979. So personal computers were just coming out. They were very expensive. And 1 second here. They were very expensive. And my parents didn't really want to get a computer. So how are you going to do a computer science project if you don't have a computer? So I decided I wanted to simulate the computer using a program on another computer. So that means I have to get another computer. So I wrote to the CEO of IBM, and IBM was much more powerful at that time than Samsung or any big company. IBM was quite big. So I wrote to the CEO of IBM and I said, I want to do a computer project, but I need a computer. And I didn't ask him for a computer. I said, can I visit some of your offices and maybe use a computer or something like that? So make a long story short, every Friday afternoon, I went to the IBM offices. They had a sales center or something. They let me use one of their computers for a few hours every week, and I developed that project. And that's very interesting you mentioned that, Yato, because innovation is also about not just doing something on your own. Remember I mentioned innovation is groups?
Yeah.
And engaging someone else that can help you do that innovation, whether it be a powerful CEO or your classmates or whatever, is extremely important. You know, creativity is individual, but innovation is going to involve many people. So that's a very good example, Yato. And my project also was very successful. I got a very top prize in America and so forth in the science competition. But it would not have happened if I didn't make that connection and write that letter.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, just going through this. Rita.
Yes, because I'm in the same major as Putri and Gunawan in event management in my hometown university. So back there, we have an event project where we create a time labyrinth that was from like a mask. So inside of the mask, we
Mask.
bring back memories. Yeah, no, maze, 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 maze.
Matt?
Labyrinth, labyrinth.
I don't understand.
A
Wait,
maze.
I will write it. A maze.
Oh, maze.
Like where you can get lost.
Oh, maze, like a puzzle or yeah, maze. Okay, very
Yes,
good. Okay, got it.
like that. So we bring
M-A-Z-E.
back. I am maze. So we bring back memories from 90s to 20s. Yeah, so when you go inside from the first until the end, you will through the years like a time lapse,
Right.
like that.
Very interesting. It seems a little complicated. I don't completely understand.
Yes. I'm
Was it
sorry,
a
I
was it
can't
a game?
explain. No, so it's like installation, an art installation.
Oh, art.
Yes.
Okay, great.
So,
And
so inside of the maze, there are full of decoration from the year itself that represent the year.
okay, very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that. Good job. Let's now go to Nam Phai Phuong. Thank you, Rita. Nam Phai Phuong.
Hi, Professor. So it was not my idea, but my team, because when I was in Vietnamese university, I joined in marketing club, and at that time, like we tried to make an event for the people in university to join in the Halloween event, and no one like interested in that, so we have to make advertisement, and we have a short project that we filming the people like the cost and some scary things in make a custom to make a visa period, and that will viral in the school, and then everyone will interest in our project.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much, Nam. Now let's go to Mao Wen Sheng. Mao Wen Sheng.
Yes, I'm here, Professor. I think it was my first Sunday in high school. That time, the school required each class to design a class flag pattern.
Patent.
Yes, flag pattern. Because that time, my teacher heard that I can draw, so asked me to design the pattern. So I spent 2 nights.
Pattern.
Yes.
Okay, pattern. Okay.
Designed a pattern that make our all students were satisfied with that. So at that time, I thought I was very innovative.
Great. Very good. Well, thank you very much, Mao. Let's go to Bae So Hyun.
So the most innovative things I have done is that when I went for boarding school in United States, and since it was a boarding school, I have to live with different cultures and learn how to get along with other cultures.
Yes.
And actually now it's not difficult at all. Also learn how to do things by myself.
Oh, great.
And it was in my high school age, so for me it was very innovative thing I have
That's
done.
great. Excellent. So that's actually very interesting. Bae So Hyun mentions about doing things on your own. So innovation is very interesting, very tricky, because on one level, you have to have an independent thinking and doing on your own. You can't just do innovation by just following. On the other hand, you also, as we talked about, like with Yata and others, uh, you can't just do innovation only on your own. You have to work with others and make it happen. So one reason why Jeff Bezos is much more wealthy than Marius Eckert is, he worked with other people to make that idea into reality. So there's an interesting tension. There's an interesting sort of conflict almost between the individualism of innovation and the group work of innovation. So you have to have both capabilities to be a very good innovator. If you're totally a group person and follow what the group does, you cannot innovate. But if you're totally independent and creative and just do only on your own, you also will not be innovative. So thank you for raising that, Bae So-hyun. Inzu Aitsanova. Inzu Aitsanova, what is the most innovative thing you've done? Okay, we'll come back to Inzu Aitzenova. Shang Jizhu.
Yes, I'm here, Professor.
Great. What is the most innovative thing you have done in your?
So I'm a food lover, so I often make some Chinese food and Western food together. For example, I like to add some Chinese sauce to the hamburgers.
Oh wow!
And I also like pasta. So, but I will make it very spicy. I think very delicious. So I think food innovation is very important because the food can bring the people the happiness. And
Yes.
if I feel sad after eating some sweet food, I will feel very happy. So I think I often make some food together.
Very interesting. Okay, thank you very much. That's excellent. Katie Peterson. Katie Peterson. You have a problem with your microphone? What is the most innovative thing you have done? Okay, so we'll return to Katie Peterson. Let's go to Ahmed San.
Yes, Professor.
What is the most innovative thing you've done in your estimation?
Probably when I was at high school student, we have a special subject like engineering stuff, and we have a project with the fire track and the thermal image. When we can hear the thermal image for the fire track, the track can solve the problems without the driver. It's like the minor
Okay,
robot.
so thermal imaging in firefighting.
Yeah, firefighting. Yeah, it's like it was the kind of small robot for this, and when we were like turn the light, like and etc. stuff with the high temperature, it's like automatically solve this one.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for that. Let's go back to Inzu Aitzenova. Inzu Aitzenova. Okay. We'll wait a few moments for Katie Peterson, but I wanted to mention two comments. Hello again, Katie. We'll get. Why don't you go? What is the most
Can you hear
innovative
me?
thing for you?
Is my mic working?
Yes, it is. Perfect.
Okay, good. I was thinking about it a long time. I have a lot of interests, so I usually like to kind of mix them together a lot. So I think one thing I did was I had a project at school. It was supposed to be like a research paper, but I was allowed to do something a bit more hands-on, and they called it creative work, I guess. And I like baking and making cakes for children's parties. And I know that children like to play a lot of board games in Estonia. So I kind of combined board games and cake, and I made a cake that was a board game so they could play it and then like eat it afterwards. And
wow.
the kids really liked it, so.
That sounds very cool. Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay, so this was great. Three things I noticed. First of all, I commented on all your innovation ideas and so forth, but I want to comment 3 things as we prepare for next week because I want it to go very well. Number 1 is some of you don't have cameras or have turned off the cameras. I think it would be better if you can have that there. It's not a requirement, but I do hope that for your presentations, you can have a camera and be able to engage with the audience as a matter of practice and so forth. And the second thing is, it's very important to understand that English is a global language. And what that means is not just that everybody, professional people, and it's a common language for communication globally, but what it means is that there is no such thing as perfect English. You will have presidents of countries, heads of state, Nobel Prize winners, famous athletes or whatever. They speak in global English, and their English is not native. It's not perfect. So that doesn't mean that they, don't know how to communicate, or they're not smart, or they're not educated, or whatever. Absolutely not. Obviously, they are very educated, but it doesn't need to be perfect. But it's extremely important to understand that global English is spoken differently than native English. In fact, on purpose, especially in an online format. So I would encourage you to practice speaking slowly, not too slowly, of course, very clearly, each word separately, and practice that. That's global English, so that people from different backgrounds, different ability, different accents can easily communicate. So you don't have to sound like a native speaker. In fact, you don't want to sound native, because in some ways that's not good for a global setting. So some of you I couldn't really understand, and it's not because your language skills weren't good. It's because you have to speak in a certain way. So imagine yourself as a famous football player. English is not native, but they're communicating to 1 billion people around the world for the World Cup. They know they're very good. They will speak very clearly, and so forth. So that's number 2. One thing I want to practice with one of you. Does any of you have a screen image like a PowerPoint? For example, Bakshiva, do you have the picture of your bag on your computer?
Yes.
You do? Okay, so I want to practice this for next week. I'm going to, can you share your screen now? I don't think you can, right?
No, I can. Like now.
Oh, try it.
It's now showing.
I don't see anything. Oh, there we go. Okay, good.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that was the readings. Good. Okay, so everybody should look at, what button did you use to share the screen?
There are one button, share the screen, in the middle.
Okay, good. So everybody should look at that. Can everybody, let's actually practice that. So Bakshiva did it. So we'll stop that. Katie Peterson, can you share your screen? You don't have to show anything private, but just see if you can do that. Do you know how to share your screen, Katie? Oh, Kazai, Bakshiva, can you turn off your sharing screen? Maybe that's why. Can you turn it off, Bakshiva? Yeah, great. So Katie Peterson, can you share your screen? Hello? Okay, let's go to Gunawan. Gunawan, can you share your screen? Okay, great. Okay, then let's go to Gunawan. Turn that off. Marius, can you share your screen? Okay, great. Turn that off. Good. Putri? Putri, can you share your screen?
You said yes, but wait.
Okay, good. Okay, and turn that off. And let's go to Yata. Yata, can you share your screen? Yata Jokudu, can you?
Yes, Professor, I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
But
Okay.
someone should do it. I'll do it again.
Okay, Yata, we're gonna go to Nam Phai Phuong. Nam Phai Phuong, can you share your screen?
Professor, I use the phone, so I can share
Oh,
now,
you're
but
using
I
a
don't.
phone. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
oh, Yata is, okay, very good, Yata. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now Mao Wensheng, can you share your screen?
Wait, Professor.
Mao Wensheng, try to share your screen.